The text messaging application in the X10 Mini Pro is easy to use. It has characteristics similar to the calling application that I have reviewed elsewhere on this page, in the sense that it has few functionalities, but these are easy to access. Let me show you what I mean. Text messaging is accessed by pressing this icon on the home screen. This first screen of the application has a list with the most recent conversations here, with the very latest received message displayed straight away, or part of it, and a large button that lets the user create a new message up here. There's a scroll bar here on the side of the list. It helps the user to understand where he is in the list, but it cannot be scrolled itself. It's too narrow. That's okay, since the user has the list to touch and drag and move. This list of conversations doesn't have superfluous information, such as the telephone number of the contact or the timestamp of the message or anything. So it's easy to understand for the user. There's only the message, part of the message, the recipient, as well as the big button with new message to understand. When the conversation itself is displayed, there is no difference between multimedia messages and text messages, as you can see up here. And it makes fine sense, because they're all messages sent to a specific phone number, not to emails or other messaging types that are not, let's say, natural for the phone. The phone does have a few problems with the dragging of the list here once the top bar comes down here. It's not always that it's as easy to use as this. And it's very easy to press the large part of the screen down here if the conversation should continue. So there's a fun little thing about messaging and the organization of conversations when drafts are made. Let's say I want to work with the second conversation here. I do some kind of draft, and then I press whatever. I don't want to go back to it. Then, if the message is saved as a draft, the conversation will be moved to the top of the list. I guess it's made because the designers assume that the user then wants to finish this conversation before anything else. But if you have a number of recipients or contacts that you always write with, it's actually a bit confusing that their order is moved around. But I really like the fact that the draft is kept in the conversation. It's saved as a draft here. It's put on the top of the list, and I've commented on that already. But when I go in here, it's still a part of the conversation. I shouldn't go into a specific folder called drafts or anything in order to find it. I really like that, because that's where it should be. It shouldn't be somewhere else. So if I tap the message here in the conversation, it brings up the two most wanted features that I can use to forward the message or delete the message. That's for a message that I sent. A message that I received cannot be tapped as easy. It needs a long press, and then brings up more features. This is slightly confusing. I'm not quite sure why there's this big difference between this. Why should I long press one of them and tap the other? But overall, there's no superfluous functionality to confuse the user or to clutter the interface, as I see it. If I want to add a file, it's fairly easy done too. I press the button here, and let's say I add a picture. All my pictures are displayed, and I can scroll them. Personally, I think that this fancy idea of displaying the images and animating them the faster I scroll is a bit too much. If I scroll fast, I can see the list and it looks nice, but if I just scroll slightly slower, it kind of makes me feel seasick, because it's moving to the background and the foreground like this. When the user inserts an image, the message is converted to a multimedia message automatically, and the picture is displayed in this cute little manner where the user gets the option of deleting it straight away by pressing the button here, and then it converts back to a text message. Fairly easy. Another nice feature is the design of the list when recipients are added. If I add recipients, I press the menu key out here. It might be slightly confusing that I should press the menu key, but the screen has so few options that anything else than what's on it is obvious that it's on the menu key, because the keys out here are either the back key or the home screen key. If I add a recipient, I get this list. In the list of conversations, I mentioned that the scroll bar did nothing else than to display how much of a list the user had scrolled through. This made sense in the list of conversations because these are collected in conversations, so there will only be one conversation per contact, and not all contacts will be used for messaging, and therefore the list may not be very long. But here, in the long list of recipients, something else is needed in order to provide easy and quick access to all entries in the list. So I can scroll normally, but I'm also provided with this little slider in each part of the screen, with 3 horizontal lines that clearly indicates that I could take this item on the screen and drag it. It almost invites me to touch and drag simply by having these 3 horizontal lines. And when I do it, I have this big letter on the screen to tell me where I am on the list and how much further I should go. The recipient is then selected by a simple tap. The design of the keyboard itself is nice too. It's tiny, but there's space for all the characters as well as for some special characters for those of us who live in Denmark and have these 3 strange characters. The connection between this blue key here and the small blue letters is fairly obvious and easy to understand. And the only drawback I can see on this keyboard is that the comma here is seen as a special character. I'm not sure if you can see it on the screen, but it's actually here in blue just over the normal dot. I do consider the comma to be used much more than, let's say, the hash sign over here on the J button, so I'm not sure why it should be seen as a special character. When I was reviewing the HTC Desire phone, I commented that the user will need quick access to smileys. In this phone he only needs to press a little simple button over here, and he can put in smileys straight away. So overall, this text messaging feature is designed very well and very usable. It doesn't do much, but the things that it does are easy to access and easy to understand.